Yes, it's being live streamed and we shall record. Oh. Okay, whenever you are ready.
Okay, so I'm going to call the Southborough Board of Health meeting to order on Tuesday, July 12th, 2022 at 9:30 a.m. This is a virtual only meeting and all board members are present. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. First order of business is public comment. So if anybody has anything in the audience to say, please feel free to raise your hand and we'll bring you over to speak. I don't see anyone. Thank you. Next is approval of minutes for June 21st. Did everyone get a chance to read those?
Yes.
Okay. Any edits on those?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. So I'm going to move that we approve and release the June 21st, 2022 minutes as presented.
I second the motion and vote aye, Sacco.
And I vote aye, Medina.
And Malinowski's aye. That's 3-0. Thank you. And then I had sent around the June 7th, 2022 minutes. Did you get a chance to read those? For
Yes.
executive session? Sorry.
Yes.
Any changes to those?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to move that we approve and release the June 7th, 2022 executive session minutes as presented.
I second the motion and vote aye, Sacco.
I vote aye, Medina.
And Malinowski's aye. So that passes 3-0. Thank you. Progress at Ken's.
Good morning.
Good morning. Do you want to give an update on that, Heather?
Yeah, Bill Pizzoni asked me last night to do the update.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah, they're not joining. They're
Okay.
yeah. So they had a really congenial, good working relationship and did the sound testing last night. So they want to update that they did do the testing last night, but it's going to take a good 2 weeks to then sift through the results, plug them into Canva, the modeling, and get their report is going to take a good 2 weeks.
Okay.
So, and then they'll also look about what type of mitigation wall. So I think put them on for August. Last night they met at 3:30 at Ken's. Both Mike Wallace and David Coates were the two sound experts, Jim Bourne and Mr. Pizzoni. And I wasn't there for that component, but I think they were setting things up or getting their plan. I'm not sure. But I went to the evening session. They started about 7:30 in the evening and they tested at Ken's. And during the test, they had 20 reefers
Okay.
at the building, and they would turn them all on and then turn them off for ambient measurements. There was also, when I was down at Ken's, there was the line also of extra trucks that were not on, but do provide, I think, some sound mitigation. Anyway, so they tested 100 feet from property, 200 feet from property, and the spot in the woods, it's 550 feet from the property, which is what they had done with their modeling expert before. But then, oh, and interesting, they put a boom up and they tested at 26 feet near their proposed wall site so that they could estimate sound potentially if it were to go over the wall.
Okay.
So the wall is probably going to be about 26 feet. Is that what they're
Yeah,
thinking?
something like that, right? I think they were proposing maybe 20 feet high. Yeah, I asked Mr. Pizzoni, yeah, how high they were testing, and he thought it was 26 feet. I mean, he's not the sound expert, but yes, they tested where they were proposing above the wall. And then they did 4 neighborhood receivers. So we then went to Eastbrook and 3 on Flag. And so we went in their yards and we would test with the 20 trucks on, and then we would test ambient with them off, basically. It was interesting, you know, it was interesting, albeit bitten by mosquitoes, but it was interesting. You know, when they turn the trucks on, it's what folks have described. It takes a little bit longer for them all to have their sound, like it takes a few, maybe 5 minutes to kind of get it crescendoed up. I don't know, it takes them a little while when they turn on to get the engine to start, but it's definitely, I mean, down in the parking lot, I could hear them very vibrational. The different receivers, it was different at each place. Some of them have a lot of Route 9 noise, and some of them, yeah, it was interesting. Some of them are closer, like Eastbrook, but don't necessarily, because of topography or the trees or the way the land goes up and down, it not as much comes. So we
Okay.
will see. They'll sift through the results, but they did all the testing last night.
And did they have trucks driving around too, Heather, at any point?
Not really, but one of the neighbors at Eastbrook, that was her complaint. Her complaint was trucks backing up in the middle of the night.
Okay. Okay.
Does it make that like beep, beep, beep when they back up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what she was complaining about, not so much the vibrational low noise.
So Heather, we're scheduled, I think, for our next meeting on August 16th.
Okay.
Do you think that we need something in the interim for this? I just want to make sure that.
I guess I'll
they're-
ask them what they think, right?
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah. I guess we can ask Ken's what they think.
yeah, I just don't want to hold them up. I don't know. what the
Right, if
rest of the
they, I mean,
board
they'll have the
thinks.
results before them, but I don't, but also they're gonna, propose.
They have to
a
write the
mitigation
report, right?
strategy.
So, I mean, maybe the timing will work out for that. I just
Maybe
want to
it
make sure that
will.
we're
Yeah.
not the,
I want to say August 16th, Mr. Pizzoni might not be available, because I couldn't remember. It was either the week before or the 16th. I remember when I was speaking with him last night. I didn't know
okay,
which one. I'll circle back, I guess, and just ask them if they want one before
Okay.
the 16th.
okay. Great. Thank you. Anyone else? Anything else on Ken's?
Thank you, Heather, for following up and,
Yeah.
and for going above and beyond for that. Thank you.
Sorry. Whoop, where did I go?
Okay, next is Fitzgerald. So Heather, do you want to tee that one up and
I will, but I also have the owner texting me to get the link.
oh, okay, you know what? While we get him on, I'll go to Michael Seeger. We'll get him. Okay, so Michael, I'm gonna bring you over. And Michael, so we're just gonna skip down to number 7 on the agenda so he can go about his business. So Michael's our new food inspector for the Burroughs region. I think he started yesterday, but I'm sure he can fill us in on that. And Michael, we appreciate you coming today, given it's your first week of work. And we're very excited to have you on board and are looking forward to you helping us with inspecting and helping our businesses. So with that, Michael, feel free to give an introduction for us and go ahead. We can't hear you if you're talking, Michael. Can anyone hear Michael?
I can't.
No. Michael, we can't see you either.
Oh, wait.
Oh, there you are. Okay. No, we cannot hear you. You could call in. I can get you the number. You can call in from your cell phone. So you can call the number 312-626-6799. Did you get that? Okay, and then the meeting ID is 861-9207-6635. And if you need a meeting password, it's 589209. Do you need me to repeat any of that? Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I see you in the panel. Okay, you should be able to unmute.
Michael,
Can't hear you.
oh, is it the 508 number?
Okay, so now you need to turn down your computer audio.
Mute the computer.
How's that?
Perfect.
I'm very sorry, I'm not a Zoom expert here yet.
On the fly. Okay, welcome.
Sorry about
Welcome.
that. Thank you very much. Well, thank you for the welcome. I'm excited to be part of this team and the surrounding towns as well. I'm a resident of Northborough, so I know this town and this area as well. So I'm excited to join. For the past 5 years, I've been working for Ecolab, doing mostly food safety audits and staff trainings, predominantly in grocery stores all throughout New England. And prior to that, for 25 years or so, I was in restaurant management and cafeteria management. So I know the food business very, very well. So I'm looking forward to getting into the stores and into the businesses on the other side that I dealt with, you know, in those restaurants for a very long time. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Great. Safter and Nancy, do you have any questions or comments for Michael?
Oh, welcome aboard.
Yep, welcome aboard, Michael.
Appreciate
We're
it.
very, very excited to have you. We're very fortunate to have the regional boroughs grant and have this be part of our team. So, you know, it's worked well for about a year now, actually. And it's been beneficial for our residents and our businesses. So we're looking forward to kind of capitalizing on what we've already done. So we're looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Heather Taylor, anything you want to add?
No, excited to have you here. Welcome to the boroughs, and I think we'll see you in person next week.
Okay, great. Don't have
Awesome.
all my schedule yet, but I hope so.
Yeah, I think you're coming by Southborough next week.
Leave a message.
Great.
So because Michael will be doing food inspections on behalf of the town, we have to appoint him as an agent of the town. So I'm going to go ahead and make that motion so we can get that out of the way. So I move that we appoint Michael Seeger as a Southborough health agent.
I second the motion and vote aye, Sacco.
And I vote aye, Medina.
And Malinowski's aye. So that passes unanimously. Michael, thank you very much for joining this
Mhm.
morning. I'm going to
Thank you.
disconnect your phone, or you can hang up,
Okay.
and then I'll move you back over to the attendees, but feel free to hang on or go about your day.
No, I'll hang out. I appreciate everybody. It's good to meet you all. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Michael.
Do we have I don't see a Fitzgerald representative, although I did send the information.
Okay.
Do we have Medellin?
Yes. Yep. So we'll skip Fitzgerald and come back to that. Yes. So, and I know Dennis is here, so maybe we'll have Dennis kind of introduce this topic, and then we'll figure out where to go from there. So Dennis, do you want to give us the overview here?
Here. Let's do this. No. Yeah, my you're known as me right now.
All right, that's fine.
Okay.
All right,
Hi,
Sorry.
Dennis.
Good morning.
my phone's having technical difficulties too.
Oh, man.
I'm not sure if Peter Bemis is on also.
He is. Yes.
If you want me or to Peter to give an overview.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I can bring Peter over.
I would bring Peter over.
Okay. You got it.
You all have a print that Barbara sent to you, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, that shows the plan.
Yes.
Okay, good. So briefly, this is a 4 single-family home condominium project. It's on approximately 8 acres of land. It's owned by William Putri, the applicant, and they are proposing a shared or a condominium system for these 4 homes. And as you can see on the plan that you have, where the system is located, there's been more than sufficient soil testing on that site, as was quite a bit of the entire site. As it's presented, it meets all rules and regulations of Title V and of the town of Southborough. It's far away from the influence of the reservoir, so it meets all that criteria. And it's a stone and pipe system, if you're not familiar with certain septic systems. It's more of a traditional system because there are newer systems out there today. Some are good, some are not so good. So this is a very good system. It'll be fine for the area. And there will be additional, some additional components of the system and the permit that have not been finalized yet. So there are a few things still needed. The master deed has to be created and recorded. Operation maintenance plan has to be created and recorded. I believe there's a couple of easements. I'm not sure, Peter, did you get the easements, the recorded easements?
Yes, we have those now.
Okay. So basically they're coming to the board looking for an approval. The approval is in the board's hands rather than in what used to be Paul Pazinski or myself. Anything that goes over more than a single family house goes to the board. This is why the board has this plan. So everything that I have looked at, it's a very approvable plan. If Peter has anything else to add to it.
Yeah, I would, Dennis, if I could. So just so the board is aware, this is really like the first step to a process that will eventually go to the planning board, because this is what's going to be called a major residential development. And under 174.13.2C, that's your provision, which is the Board of Health. And what we're seeking is your conditional approval, because we do have to give you a master deed, we do have to give you condo documents, and we do have to give you an operation and maintenance plan. This is not a traditional residential home septic system that the homeowner will be responsible for. This is a community system, and the community itself is responsible for it. So their documents need to ensure that performance is being met. We are under thresholds, though, for like a system that's over 2,000 gallons has a different criteria that we need to meet. So we are underneath that criteria. And it, as Dennis said, it is a traditional system, stone and pipe. So there's not a lot of moving parts or things that require a great deal of maintenance for a long-term perspective on this. But it is important that we do get your support with like a conditional approval, because I can't initiate my process with the planning board until I have you folks completed. So you're really like the first step. So that's all I would say. Thank you.
So
Thank
I'm
you both.
confused. I
Oh, go
thought
ahead,
Dennis,
Nancy.
4 condos. I see 6.
Oh,
I
no,
missing?
so yeah, you're on the plan, the 4 units that are to the right on the 8 acres of land, those are the units that are part of this plan. The 8 acres essentially is going to set aside open space, which we plan on putting some public access on the site, linking Valley Road to Meadow to essentially land of the DCR.
Okay.
The 2 homes that are located on lots 3 and 4, those are single-family homes. They are on more than half-acre lots.
Okay.
And those have already been previously approved through the traditional process through staff.
I got,
So the 4 on the right, this yellow line that we have on our map is easements that will be required on lots 4 and 3 to get over to the septic on the left-hand side of the map.
Yes, that's right. If you
Okay,
want,
so-
I can share if you'd like to have it
Oh, sure. Why
illustrated
don't
on
you
the
share,
plan.
just so that'd be great. And then we can
Okay,
talk
I'm
through.
prepared.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll give you access.
Yeah, I'm gonna try clicking it and see if it goes. Barbara, I'll call you if I need help. No, you disabled me, so enable me to share.
Um,
I'll try it again. No. So it says host disabled participant.
yeah, I know. I'm trying to get you to, well, because Dennis is on Barbara's computer, so.
Share.
Can you do it, Barbara?
Yeah, hang on a minute.
Okay, sorry. I think because I'm co-host, I can't do it. So while they get that set up, Peter, the
Yeah.
4 is linking into 1 septic.
That's right,
And
yes. Yeah.
how many bedrooms are the 4?
4 each.
4 bedrooms apiece.
You should
So-
be able
So
to,
that's
so
why I
this
say
is-
that we're under 2,000 with 4.
Right,
Okay, so it's 16 bedrooms
correct.
to
Correct.
1 septic. Okay.
You should be able to share now.
Yes, I can. Thank you.
And do lots 3 and 4 know that you're going, or you've already done the easements with lots 3 and 4?
Yeah, that's right. As part of our conveyance, we did do that.
Okay,
So I'm going to just make sure my screen's maximized. This is the first sheet of this plan set. Excuse me, this is the second sheet of the plan set, which shows the details for the soil absorption system. So you can see the tank and distribution box, and then all of the minutia of numbers and calculations that we need for that. What we really want to focus on is the plan. Now, did that advance to the site plan?
it did, yes.
Okay, great. So I'm just going to zoom in then, so you can see this better, and I'll start kind of here at the street. Now, everyone's image is on the right screen for me, so I'm not quite getting all the way over to the right. I'm assuming you can see
Peter,
that.
Peter, if you have the panel of everybody's image and you see how there's 4 buttons on the top left of that screen,
Yes,
if you click on the second one on the to the right where it says show small active speaker, if you click on that, it will minimize everyone and just show you who's speaking.
yep, just you.
Okay.
Very good. Okay,
Okay.
I got you. Thank you.
All right.
I know
You're
a
welcome.
new piece of technology too.
Okay.
So Meadow Lane here is to the south, north is to the top of the sheet. And the 4 units are located here, and they'll come through a common driveway here to serve the 2 in the back. And then there's a private driveway for the one on the left, and there's a private driveway for the one on the right. The effluent will leave by gravity from each of these units. So it carries through the front property, then it carries through between the 2 units, continues in a gravity down through this easement, and then into a distribution box for distribution through the leaching area that's located here. I'll just zoom in a little bit more now. Oops. So again, that was all gravity through these sewer mains coming through this easement to this location. Then it goes through a traditional distribution box for distribution through the leaching area. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Question, Peter, why did you plan it to go through lot 3 and 4?
Well, we could have made those lots smaller, but there was a desire to have them a certain size, so they had a certain rear yard. It's just we to go around it, we would have had more facets and probably a pump station. And I was trying to avoid having a pump station for this because gravity does work. So there's an easement already going, excuse me,
Okay.
through our property as well. Excuse me.
But but you've already taken care of these easements with these two homeowners.
Yes, we have. Yeah,
Okay.
and the property owners know of the easement, so it was all disclosed as part of the transaction.
Okay, so are these lots 3 and 4 new construction?
Yes,
Newer
they are.
construction?
And,
Okay.
and I believe they have commenced work. There was an approval. They may have not gotten their building permit yet, but they may have just gone on site and started doing some mobilization.
Okay, so these are not existing structures that you then went and got easements on?
No, that's right. This is
Okay.
all part of the planned project. This was done deliberately to look this way.
Got it.
And the goal here, I don't want to stress this part of it because I know from the Board of Health perspective, it just comes down to what the regulations are. But at the end of the day, the goal here was to try to dedicate open space and provide connectivity to the DCR land because
Yeah.
there really isn't a good connectivity point.
Okay.
The old Stony Brook Golf Course is located to the north of us, and that's privately held. So there's a separation between Valley and that.
Mhm.
So that this will afford the ability to get from Valley to DCR land and back down to Boston Road.
Okay. And is there still a landing strip north of this?
There is. So
Okay.
I'll show you that's going to go away.
Okay.
So the landing strip is going all the way from Valley, and it goes right through these two units because you can see this is the landing strip right here, and it
Oh,
terminates right here. So that is another good thing that's going to happen here is there'll be no more landing strip.
okay. Okay. I didn't catch that little box in there. Okay.
I have a quick question. What is the maintenance plan for this?
Hmm.
You know, who's the homeowner? Is there a association or something that's gonna be in
Basically,
charge?
this is going to be a condominium. So to put this in perspective, and I don't know if you recall, but we did this once before. So on Boston Road to the
Yeah.
right of the church, we put a condominium there as well. So those had 2 duplexes and 2 singles. And
Okay.
the same proponent had put this together. We did that project for them. And we had
Okay.
presented the same concept to you folks where we put a community system in. The 6 units of housing that were located there on Boston Road did exactly the same thing as we're doing here. And so there is maintenance. There'll be a private sewer line that connects all of these homes together to a gravity septic system. So leaching areas. So I would anticipate like an annual inspection. There's not a great deal of appurtenances here that need to be checked, but there would probably be an annual inspection and report to the Board of Health as part of the O&M plan.
Okay.
Every house has its own septic tank too. I probably should have said that. So each home, it comes out to a septic tank, then that would overflow into a gravity sewer line.
Oh, okay.
So each year those tanks will be pumped just like your home would be pumped. So it's really not much different than your house.
Okay.
Just happens to be that 4 people are going to be connected to this and have mutual responsibilities through their association to maintain.
All right.
And I assume that as part of the condo documents, you'll set what the amount is that each homeowner will put into that, and that will come from you and will be set up front and not after the fact?
Yeah, usually that's what we do.
Okay.
It's part of the operating plan, there's percentages, but these would be equal percentages and
Okay.
and it's pretty straightforward. That part of it's kind of seamless for the board. You don't revisit this again. Staff would end up handling all those
Okay.
matters.
Okay.
But this part,
So
I do
really,
need you.
the board's role here is, because it's multiple units.
Yeah.
That's why it falls outside of Dennis's purview.
That's
Correct.
Okay. I think I'm good. Nancy and Safdar, do you have any other?
It looks good to me, and I know Peter's done these before and they've worked well.
Yeah, no, it looks, I actually live on Southwood Drive where there's that huge shared septic system. So I know I've been on that other side of it.
I've been to
Exactly
your
how it
septic
works.
system too.
Yeah, yeah. I know
Yeah.
exactly how it works. So
Yeah,
And
there are
there's one on
several-
William Cleary too,
Yes,
on the back, so I'm familiar with
there
that.
are several of these in town already. And
Yeah.
I don't think we've had too many problems. There have been problems in the past with certain,
Couple, and it was due to poor maintenance, if I recall.
on,
Like- And I thought one was near the golf course and one was near that Mount Vickery thing, but, and it did get sorted out, but that's
Yeah.
why I always asked about the maintenance, because if it,
that one of
you
them
know.
was, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we do get reports. The Board of Health in the office gets reports from all those places. And
Yeah.
we do check on them. And so, yeah, they have repaired a few in town, which is good. That's what they're there for. So,
Yep.
All right, great. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Dennis, for
Thank
bringing this forward. So
you.
I'm going to move that the Board of Health accept the Meadow Lane condo septic and leaching field plan as conditional.
I second the motion and vote aye, Sacco.
and I vote aye, Medina.
And Malinowski's aye. Is that what you needed, Peter?
Thank you. I appreciate it very much. Nancy, it's good to see you again. New members too. Thank you.
Still working with you?
Say again?
Is your son still working?
Oh, oh, yes, yes. He's my exit strategy. I can't wait to retire. I keep telling him that I need to retire. I'm getting old. But, thank you so much.
All right.
I'm going to
Take care.
turn my Barbara Speary name back to Barbara. Okay.
Have it, you both are.
I'll see
Thank you both.
All right, bye-bye.
Have a great day.
Thank you, Dennis.
All right, so next, we're gonna go back to Fitzgerald's. Mr. Patel, I'm gonna bring you over. And Heather, do you wanna tee this one up, please?
Sure. We had had the Fitzgerald's Market food permit being held and not renewed yet due to prior inspections. And in June, we set forth a plan with meeting some expectations for this July meeting. And a lot of it was working with the Pirelli Pest Management that's now going out there twice a week. And they had, what? I mean, twice a month.
Twice a month.
Yes,
Yeah.
Right. Woo.
twice a month. And they had laid forward recommendation to trim the high grass on the side of the building, to repair the foundation, some holes in the foundation. They had also suggested screens on the two doors. And something else that we had also suggested was flashing on the door that led to the basement, the second egress, and a plan for expired foods, because we had seriously, when we went in April, a serious amount of expired food. So to update, in the past few weeks, everything has not been done. Although a number of things have been done. And there were some new concerns yesterday that I spoke with Jody Pirelli from the pest management. And to review, I sent pictures of a time I went last week, and the flashing on the door had been done. The foundation, some of that had been filled in, the holes. And then the third photo I sent, it just came out from Barbara before this meeting, was the expiration sheet. And I will say that had been started to be filled out. I went on July 7th and they had filled it out the week before and had partially filled it out last week. And I will say that our new intern and I, Bill, spot checked about 10 items. We did not find an expired food item on the shelf. So that seemed to be coming along. The grass had not been mowed and there's only screens on one of the doors, not on the front door. And so there's still concern for pests. The concern yesterday, I spoke with Jody Pirelli and I briefly drove by yesterday. The mowing had not been done yet yesterday. Jody Pirelli had been in the site yesterday. She's the pest management. She said that there was flies and a lot of fruit flies and that trash wasn't being emptied. There's a coffee service area just for coffee, as we had shut down the kitchen portion with the sandwiches, but there was, we did allow for a coffee service. In that area, the trash had fruit flies. The garbage pail was not lined. There was, I think, coffee grounds or other waste. And when the pest management asked the employee to empty the trash, the employee stated that that wasn't part of the job description, and that did not sound like a good situation. And I believe she was going to maybe go back later yesterday to check in on that trash situation. So that's a new situation.
Thanks, Heather. So just to piggyback on that, I also spoke with the pest control company 2 weeks ago, and she said that there were not all of the bait had been consumed, which is a step in the right direction, but I still think that we need to continue with mitigating whatever they can to reduce the pests. And she did recommend that she continue to go out twice a month to check in. So it sounds like Heather got to her before I did this week. I wasn't sure when she was going this week. I did get a chance to go Friday night to Fitzgerald's. And I am very disappointed that at the state that it was in. Both doors were wide open. There was trash on the floors, in the aisles. The grass was not cut. And, we were pretty clear in our motion last time on what needed to be accomplished by now. And I'm not satisfied with what wasn't done. So I just wanted to tell you that I would love to. And I feel like we're not being taken seriously, and this is serious. Like this needs to be cleaned up. So I'm not prepared to issue a permit until they come to Heather and say everything that was done in the motion has been complete. So I'll open it up to Safdar and Nancy if you have anything.
Yeah, I'm very disheartened by this. These are not expensive things. Mowing and keeping up with trash are not costly requests. We're not asking him to move mountains. These are basic hygienic things. Even the flashing, you can look to the side, and where there's rotted wood, stuff gets in there. Mice have no vertebrae. They're going to go right through that. So that was not a good job. That, like I said, these are not expensive things. This is basic. You're at home, you take your trash out. You're at home, you mow. This is your business. You're putting people's health at risk. This is quite frankly, it's lazy and it's lax. And I'm right on board with Chelsea. I am not prepared. I'm very disheartened by this.
I am too. I was hoping for more progress. I mean, I think especially Heather, they described those fruit flies. I mean, that to me, that's a risk for food. That's a risk for a lot of people's health as they walk into the store. And even though it was nice to see that there weren't expired items, but to have to know that there's flies there and that the trash cans and being emptied properly, that's just setting up for. So
Mr. Patel, I don't know if you have anything that you want to add, but I think you've heard our position.
Yeah, good morning. Sorry about this, your compliance. So I told my employee every night they have to change the trash bag for the a coffee station. So I don't know why my employee said this is not my job. So I find out who said this reply. So I must take care about the change that one. And wood problem, the guy collect already the wood, and lot of wood I put in my dumpster already. So almost like it's gone, nothing we have the left. Okay. Grass cutting, that's the guy coming today because he's on a vacation. He's like my regular guy to cut down the grass. So he's gonna cut down the grass today. Anyway. And trash, we always, when the outside trash is when full, then we change it that one. A lot of people coming from the train, they put the trash over there, but we take care about that one. Also the screen door, I gave the contract to somebody because I'm gonna put the like a metal screen door. So he's gonna come today or maybe tomorrow. I'm gonna put the like a screen door. Until when we put the screen door, we're not gonna open the front door is open. We're gonna close door of our front door is closed. So we take care about that matters. So mostly whatever the last time requirement from the like Board of Health, I take care about everything. But some of the matters like my mistake is like not done. I promise like I'm gonna done everything.
Sounds like a lot of excuses, and you're the owner of this business. So it really does all fall on you. You do realize that.
Yeah, I understand. I realize.
So I think we have two options. I think we can wait until our August meeting to revisit again. Or we have Mr. Patel let Heather know when everything's complete, and then we wouldn't need to meet again on this. So I'm open to either. What do you?
So I just have
What
a
do you-
couple of things to add. Like, can we
Sure.
get more, how I think the idea that we had with the chart about the expired food was great. So can we have some sort of system where, there's, and certainly in running the store is Mr. Patel's purview, but can we have a chart like who takes out the garbage, what time, like let's get these duties there if there's an issue. So we can see that has been assigned because clearly the trash has not been taken out. How often is that grass mowed? If there is a set person who comes out and mows the grass, well, how often is it being done? And where is there a contract with a company to mow the grass and take care of the area around there? I think seeing that will then get our trust back. Like, are these things written out and done?
And quite honestly, if your person can't come to mow the lawn, are you ambulatory? Like, are you able to mow the lawn? Because we've asked this to be done and we expect it to be done.
He done the like a week ago, the like other part of the lawn, and he gonna come the like last week too. But actually he is sick, so he was sick, so he said I'm gonna come on Tuesday morning, and I'm gonna cut down the grass. I say please take care of that one. Otherwise, if you have to leave the job, then I find out somebody else because I have another guys who looking for the job. So I don't want like any problem from the town. They said definitely I'm gonna cut down grass on Tuesday. So I say okay, no problem, but you have to make sure you come on Tuesday. Otherwise, I'm gonna find out another person.
I think that's a good
So
idea.
other side, like in the like open lot, he done the job, and I showed to the Board of Health. So like a building side, you're gonna come today and you're gonna cut down that one.
So do you have a contract with someone? I think that's what.
Yeah, I have the
Sal.
I have the contract with him. He's like my regular guy. He cut down the grass at the store and my home too. So I have a contract with him.
So I think we should wait till our August meeting.
I
What do you guys
agree.
think? Okay. And Heather or I will touch base with the pest management company again.
Right. They called us yesterday at the office after they went yesterday.
Okay. Okay, so we will touch base regularly.
And again, if we can get any written contracts that are there with Fitzgerald's and any, vendor, whether it's lawn mowing, that would be helpful so that we can see that, through an email. That would be great.
So Mr. Patel, if you can provide us.
Yeah,
Yes.
ultimately, you're the owner and you're responsible for it, not the.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I believe.
So whatever you have in writing, Mr. Patel, if you can send it over to the health office and they'll get it to us, that would be great.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
All right, so we'll put that as a follow-up on our
Yeah.
next meeting. Okay, Bill Christian, so I'm gonna bring you over. So Bill is our summer intern. So welcome, Bill. And if you could just take a minute or two to introduce yourself to us, that would be great. Welcome.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Thank you for having me. So I'm currently a preventive medicine and public health resident physician at UMass, and I am with you all under Dr. Alker until the end of August. So just looking forward to the experience, absorbing, learning from everyone, and hopefully contributing. So I've already heard about a couple of items, one regarding the noise annoyance with Ken's, and also this potential project to promote hydration, especially during the summertime. So I'm here to help. And if there's something in particular, some progress, some type of work product that you would like me to work on, then that's what I'm here to do.
Awesome. Well, great. Thank you. We're happy to have you. Definitely noise is something that's at the top, I think, of all of our lists. And we kind of did a straw poll, and that was kind of the number one thing we wanted you to take a look at. I think we made some progress in town with our noise bylaw this year, which we didn't have before. But obviously there's a whole another component related to Board of Health. So we're looking forward to your kind of digging around and research around other communities and coming up with some ideas for how we can handle it on the Board of Health side. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Nancy?
Yeah, welcome aboard. We're very excited to have you. So appreciate your help this summer.
Yep.
Okay.
Welcome aboard. And I'm very happy, I think that the idea of starting this project, obviously the noise, but both alcohol and hydration, I think that's wonderful. And I think it will provide a needed service for our community.
Right. For those, we discussed the hydration in the Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition meeting. So we're kind of doing with that as well. And then in terms of the noise, I guess if we could get a little more guidance on what type of regulations you want. Bill's looked at the bylaw that's passed, and I think it goes through the AG this summer. And we've also looked at some other towns, and we are also looking at other documents for what potentially we could do. And there are documents in terms of sort of presenting almost to the resident, sort of here are the noise, bylaws that are now passed in town, and the enforcing agency is this, and this is the way a complaint is handled. There's also good neighbor policy, and then here this handles it, which is sort of that bigger scope of the noise bylaw that we passed. Would you like that into a document, as well as the industrial section that wasn't addressed in the noise bylaw, but that have a policy about that, about complainants. One of the ones, right, Bill, we were looking at, it sort of said a resident could complain, but if on their second time it's not officially a logged complaint if there's no new, merit to the situation. If it's a new situation, they complain. But in terms of the industrial, we could outlay the Massachusetts policy as it stands already, or, we could potentially tighten that a little bit. I think I've discussed with you guys the Massachusetts policy that's been around for, I think, 30 or 40 years is about 10 decibels above ambient. I saw one that was 8 from a different city, but, do we want to sort of endorse that in the document? And then do we want to talk about sort of the procedures for residents complain and to how we're working with, stationary industrial noise could be a resident, it usually is a restaurant, like the heating, cooling or something system, but it potentially could be a resident. But just did we want the scope more into just sort of that Board of Health, or we're going to try to outlay sort of as well the complaints? I think the general bylaw that was passed was generally enforced through the police department.
Right. I think we do need a process for noise complaints. And I don't know that the process that we start with is going to be the process that we end up with, because I'm not clear, I don't think yet, on the types of complaints that we get, if they would be addressed by us or the police, right? So I think we start with seeing how other towns handle it. I think if we take the Ken's example, right, that's within our purview and not necessarily the police, right? So I think what I'm looking back at how we got to the point that we got to with Ken's, I think I'm looking for a formal process so that it's documented and that we know what to do, because this is our process, right? And whether it's, you have to get so many complaints filed to have then a company do some sort of study, whatever that kind of point is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but do we want to cover sort of some of the general?
I think we need to.
I sort of think it'd be hard to piece a document that didn't have that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's
the
probably
bylaw was through police enforcement, the way it reads. And I spoke to police last week. They've gotten some calls. They said, oh, there's this new bylaw on this. And they said, well, technically we're not yet doing that exact piece. They'll always take a complaint for excessive noise, but they're not doing, say, the enforcement until it goes through AG.
Yeah.
One of the things would be, and I think, this is where we need, I think we're all looking at this now, and I know a lot more about noise engineering than I ever thought I would know in learning about the past week, but I think the general public does not. So I don't know if this is going to fall into the time frame where, Bill, you're with us, but I think it'd be nice to have like this sort of summarized so well for residents so they understand what certain decibel means. Like, this is the amount of noise that 10 decibels above ambient means, or 8 decibels. Like, these are examples of noise or things like that. So I think people, what I think is that they don't really understand noise itself. They really don't. And that might help folks out in terms of when they call to complain or when they hear something or things like that. Is that something that can be done as well in the next couple months?
Okay, thumbs up. Right. So hopefully that helps. Bill, I think there's a few different components to it. Okay, great. Anything else for Bill?
I don't think so.
All right. Thanks, Bill. Thanks for joining. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Good luck. All right, community health assessment update. So I just wanted the board to be aware that the Boroughs Group is pursuing, probably going out to RFP to get a community health assessment. One of the things that I personally think would be valuable for Southborough is getting some sort of staffing assessment and how to get the local Board of Health to work with the region. So that's definitely something that I said Southborough's interested in. I think the other component that I actually think we've done a pretty good job at is Taylor put that survey together last year to get community input. So I think we're looking at doing a survey for all 4 towns that would be consistent with the same questions so that we can compare data. But I think that's probably something that we could help to leverage internally. We also have an intern through the boroughs group, Isabella Caruso, who could take some of that legwork off. So I think we're kind of working through with the boroughs, fine tuning what exactly we're looking for. And my guess is where we're going to land is that there'll be a regional part that would be like a report for all 4 towns at this level. And then each town would have some sort of supplement or addendum for what specifically they're looking for. So we're still kind of working through that. But I think if Safter or Nancy, if you have anything that you specifically would like to see either at the region or at the local level, if you could let Heather and I know that, then we can include that as part of the scope that we're looking for. But those were really the 2, data collection for all 4 towns, figuring out like what the community is looking for, et cetera, which hopefully now that COVID's kind of hopefully going to, normalize, I guess, then, looking at hopefully other aspects of public health. So Heather, do you have anything else to add to that?
No, I think that just to clarify, right, Isabella is our employee with the boroughs, the epidemiologist, and I think that
oh, sorry, right, did I say intern?
Intern.
Sorry. Employee.
Yeah. So we know Isabella, and so I know in the summer she's doing full time. In the I think she's otherwise, I can't remember, 24 hours or something. But she's with us for another year through the boroughs grant, and so I think that there's a couple pieces, and each town was looking for a little bit of different things. But one is sort of the health of the community, which I think potentially could sort of be done internally with Isabella. Potentially there's sort of the community engagement piece, the surveys, the focus groups. We haven't seen sort of the price list. They were presented to us from HRIA. We haven't seen that yet. So that, like Taylor did the survey last summer, that maybe could be done with Isabella's help with the survey. But like, as Chelsea was saying, Southborough and Boylston appeared interested in also looking at sort of the operational, the employee structure, a board, how big is the board? Is it elected? Is it, kind of looking at some of the structural pieces. So that might be a little different. We'll see how that goes. And the final thing that they did talk about was that the state, Mass DPH, may be doing some things, and that we may not need to pay the consultant to do, I know they're doing a capacity in the next few months, looking at maybe not as direct as we would like to look at the employees and the functioning between our town and between our region, but I think they would look at the employees and then look at, how many food establishments and do we have capacity to meet that type of thing. I think some of that might be done by the state, and they sort of hinted at maybe something else, but I know the capacity look from the state is also coming. So yes, still in progress to look at what we're going to do as a region in the Southborough.
Questions on that?
No.
Okay.
Will the survey have set questions, or is that so when they come and they do? I'm assuming this is going to be townwide surveys of residents for all ages and all health conditions, physical health, mental health. What do they include? Housing and
the HRA definitely had an interest in doing. The HRA had an interest in doing that type of comprehensive survey work. I think it's up to the towns in the borough how much you want to do, either due to fiscal or due to other reasons, how much, how comprehensive do you want to do, but they certainly are willing to do that.
Because I'm thinking, what we don't have a good handle on sometimes is food insecurity and housing
Yeah.
issues in Southborough. So I'm just wondering how, we can make this very broad. I'd like to, and I don't know what their capacity will be.
I think that's probably something we could do in-house. I mean, MTC does the townwide survey, right? And that's pretty comprehensive. Taylor did a survey last summer that I think we could piggyback on. So I think that might actually be one that we could meet with boroughs and say, we can kind of leverage each other's experiences with this and probably have the resources in-house to do that.
Right, I think.
And it would save us some money to be able to do some of the things that we probably can't do in-house. So I agree. I think I agree it should include all those components though, Safdar, because I think that's a lot of information that we don't have.
Yeah.
Okay. So number 10, the 3-month numbers update. So Heather and Taylor, do you want to give an update on that?
Heather, you're on mute.
Okay, yep. These were emailed yesterday. So these are from our borough reporting. Anything that I want to highlight of note, septic is, I think, fairly busy, I guess is the word for it, fairly active in the summer months. So I think in April to June, there's a fair more amount of plan reviews and soil testing, just to let folks know. I believe Dennis is booking into September right now for soil testing for new. He may be away for a week or two, I believe end of July, early August. And in my preliminary discussion with Bill Murphy, I think he's available to cover any sort of things that come up kind of more time sensitive. The soil testing, he, like I said, he keeps those and he books those out. Any other questions on that? On the food and housing, we have Diane last inspected basically in April. So we have a little less food inspections in the past couple months, and we haven't done a housing inspection. In the spring season, we have done tobacco and camp. Maybe I'll let Taylor update on the camp and I can update you on the tobacco. Our district, Metro West Tobacco out of Framingham has been renewed for one more year for funding. Just to let you know that I think it's a really great program. They do both the inspections in town, they do education, and they do compliance checks, as well as sort of monthly meeting with the 13 towns to talk about new issues. So I've been very pleased with the district. I believe they came in April and May. We have 9 establishments. They were all inspected. Deficiency was on manufacturer's letter, which apparently is sort of a district-wide thing. And that's really that they need to show us the letter from their supplier, like what's in the product basically. And there went out a letter discussing this, and our inspector says now our folks are in compliance, that was kind of something that folks need to be educated on, was providing manufacturers letters. And so now they've got a handle on that. And we also, I think in May, had our 9 all pass their compliance check. Last summer, we had one that sailed to a minor. This summer, all 9 establishments passed on their compliance check. So,
great.
And maybe if Taylor wants to talk about the communicable disease and the camp inspections.
Sure. So camp season is here, as everyone knows. We don't have a ton of camps this year. I think, St. Mark's chose not to do any camps again this year. with the anticipation that they'll resume camps next year. So we had, we kind of have like the same camps every year. And then we just had one new camp at Chestnut Hill Farm. Their inspection went great. And I think they're on their second of 3 sessions now. And I'm going to a camp that is being hosted by St. Mark's, but not a St. Mark's camp today. And then we'll just have one more left after that. Faith School also had a camp that they do a great job because they do it every year. So pretty straightforward as far as camps goes, no issues there. That's kind of winding down for us. And so far, knock on wood, no major events at any of the camps. If there was, they would notify us and DPH. I usually trigger a follow-up inspection if there's like an injury or something like that. And then we also just had a medical building that we took a look at this year and educated, brought up into compliance with the town. It was out of compliance, was alerted us from the fire department, and has since gotten all of their proper applications into the town. So they're all set. That was something was like a multi-month project of us. And then as far as our communicable diseases go, COVID, kind of still stable, maybe like sometimes trending downwards and then the next week go up. It's pretty stable, about 11% of town of confirmed cases, probably a little higher because most people are doing at-home testing now. That does not get reported to us. For the most part, we're lucky to have a population that's so vaccinated, and it's all mostly mild disease. Anything else that people have questions about?
Oh, and also we had our pool inspection season in June, and Taylor did her pool inspector certification.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, so we have 3 semi-private pools in town. I got my inspector's license for that. So I did inspect a pool, and then with Dennis's help, and the other 2 are up to compliance.
Great. Thank you. I don't have any questions. Anybody else have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have to ever do follow-up visits with camps or pools, or do they just come to you now for the rest of the summer?
I personally haven't, but if we had a camp that didn't have all their paperwork in, or there was something that I was concerned about, I'd probably stop in a week later just to see how things were going. Same thing if they gave us a report of like an injury or God forbid someone missing or something like that, then I would call DPH. We would probably go together and follow up and see what's missing in their policies. And then as far as the pools go, they're all pools that have been around for a long time. It's St. Mark's, Fay, and the NECC school. So they all have great policies and regulations in place. And we have followed up a few times for some minor things at one of the pools that have since been resolved.
That's great. Thank you for all this work. And I just, that's what it's like, it's just the one tip, but there's a lot of follow-up involved in all these things as well that you guys are doing a lot of work on the ground for. So thank you for that.
COVID report.
COVID report. Let's see. So I kind of just did it, but 11% positivity rate. It's kind of been stable. We've been fluctuating between 7 and 11% for the past 4 or 5 weeks. I suspect that's higher than that, like I said, because that's only confirmed cases done by PCR that gets reported. Any at-home tests don't get reported to us. And then the vaccination came out for the under 5s, which is very exciting. I think we kind of left it at most pediatricians' offices are offering it. And there are a number of places where you can also bring your child to get vaccinated. That's not a pediatrician's office. So we left it as if there's a need, we will evaluate to do a clinic, but as of right now, we're not planning on it.
Are you getting a
And I
lot of
haven't-
calls asking?
No.
Okay, I'm not surprised. Okay.
I had one person call right out the gate and we were able to point them in the right direction of someplace to get their child vaccinated. We have, as of
Was it 14%
week
last
is-
week?
I'm gonna look, I have
14%.
it here, 14%,
Yeah. Got vaccinated of our
12%
12%.
of
Of under
children
fives.
under the age
Okay.
of 5 were vaccinated, first dose.
I think the uptick is going to be less in this age group.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Conversations with families. It's interesting. It's the timing of it, I think, more than anything else. And I've had a few families who said, well, if this was a year and a half ago, I would have done it without even thinking about it. And,
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be education. But we may see an uptick again, maybe towards the fall.
Right.
Is my thought, in demand for this, as a lot of kids are home, and then these under 5 may start daycare in the fall, or older siblings will start school.
Right.
I'm thinking we may see more of a demand in the fall.
Right. I think the students in daycare and preschool, right, there'd be more of a demand.
The other big change, just of note for the state, is that the state this week stopped doing daily case reporting and they're shifting to weekly.
Oh, good.
Great. Thanks, Taylor. Okay, upcoming meetings. So 8/16, unless we need to do something for Ken's only. And I think this is a typo on my part. Sorry, public hearing for tobacco. Did we decide the 12th or the 19th of September?
The 19th potentially was better for me.
Okay, so it was the 19th. Okay, sorry, that was my bad. So 9, was it 19 or 17?
It's a Monday night.
It is, yep. So the 19th, so 9/19.
Okay, and that's the Monday
Okay.
before Rosh Hashanah. I think I wanted to make sure we knew when Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur were. I think it's the 20th. I think it's the week
I
after.
think it was okay.
It's the week after.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we probably should pick our September regular meeting now. Oh, were we gonna combine them? Maybe we were gonna combine them, but it was gonna be a night meeting, right?
Right. We were going to do a
Okay.
night meeting.
So you want to do 6:30 or 7?
Maybe 7, just in case I have an issue with
Sure.
work. I'd
Yep.
just be a little
Totally fine.
late, horrifically late.
Okay, and then 8/16, we'll do 9:30. And as of right now, you, Safdar and Nancy will be in person and I'll be remote.
Sure.
Unless they change the guide. I mean, you guys can still meet in person even if they change the guidance, but it hasn't come out yet, so. I don't
Okay.
Whatever is easier for the
Yeah,
board.
it doesn't matter to me. If we do
Okay.
hybrid, I just want to make sure there's someone there that can, all that technology stuff is where we'll probably be more challenged than anything else with the hybrid meeting.
No, I won't be able to be of any assistance with that.
I think you'll be in good hands. Maybe we can add that to Bill's list. Can run our hybrid meeting. All right. Anything else before we go to public comment?
What time
So
for the meeting on the 16th? 9:30?
9:30. Yeah.
Okay. Did we pick for September? Because I'm confused.
Sorry. We're gonna do our September meeting as part of the public hearing. So we won't have a separate meeting.
So is it the 19th?
Yes,
Okay.
at 7.
Evening.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, unless you want to do, I'm trying to save your time.
No, that's fine. Yeah, no, that's
Okay.
perfect.
Okay.
And are you
All right.
doing it up at the select board's meeting room, the
Yeah,
McCullough?
I think we should. Yeah, to do a hearing. Yeah.
Okay.
Can we just check with Karina to make sure planning board's not meeting that night?
Oh, yeah.
Because they usually meet on Mondays.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thank you. If not, if they are meeting in the hearing room, maybe we can find another room.
Got it.
Thank you. Okay, second public comment. If anybody has anything, if you want to raise your hand. Okay, I don't see anyone. So I'm going to move that the Board of Health adjourn at 10:44 a.m.
I second the motion and vote aye, Sacco.
And I vote aye, Medina.
And Malinowski's aye. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for all